Discover the 7 miraculous lessons revealed to transform your life, a divine blueprint for supernatural faith. The words echoed through the quaint English village, crackling with unearthly fervor. Thomas stood at the center of it all, scooped into the warmth of fervent prayer and overwhelming hope, his heart a vessel of unwavering belief. Every night, as twilight painted the skies, he gathered his family around the flickering candlelight, invoking St. Jude, the saint of desperate cases, lifting a chorus to the heavens for divine intervention. Little did he know, a greater test of faith awaited him, shrouded in shadows that threatened to consume his joy. One fateful morning, the doctor's somber gaze carved a rift in the serenity of their lives. Grace, his beloved daughter, the brightest spark of hope, was diagnosed terminally ill. The very foundation of Thomas's faith trembled beneath him. Friends and neighbors rushed to the family's side, their voices united in fervent prayer, filling the small home with a powerful sense of community. Yet each syllable of the Lord's Prayer felt heavy with weight. The promises of divine mercy felt like fleeting wisps in a storm. As despair wrapped around him like a thick fog, Father O'Reilly brought tales of miracles from the scriptures, of blind men seeing, of the lame walking. Each miracle was like a ray of light peeking through the dark clouds. Thomas clutched these stories, hoping to shelter his family from the storm, but still fighting a raging tempest within himself. Before we continue, I need to tell you about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, click the bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can leave a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now, let's continue. Alongside the relentless tide of prayers, they embarked on a journey to discover the 7 miraculous lessons. They sifted through all of Grace's favorites, her childlike faith vibrant and untouched by the harsh realities of this world. The lessons focused on trusting deeply, placing all worry aside, and believing in God's plan even when it seemed bleak. As the days passed, medical treatments failed to yield hope. It was a struggle that grew heavier upon their hearts. Then, one afternoon, Thomas stumbled upon an old, crumbled letter hidden in Grace's room. With trembling hands, he opened the cherished paper, filled with words radiating faith and hope, so pure, so unwavering. "God has a plan, Daddy," it read. The raw honesty in those lines struck him deep. Tears spilled as he read her testament to faith, a beacon to guide him through his inner turmoil.
Just then, a faint light sparked outside, a whisper of something divine lurking beyond the ordinary. The village gathered in hushed awe as radiant light enveloped Grace's window. A hush fell, reverent murmurs rising among the devoted. Thomas's heart swelled, caught between heartbreak and amazement. Did heaven really intervene against the darkness of despair? As he stood, grappling with the churning storm of faith and doubt, a single question echoed louder than any prayer. If miracles were unfolding before their very eyes, what was yet to come? Would Grace rewrite their destiny, or would he forever bear the wound of unanswered prayer? As the village pulsed with hope, a flickering flame ignited within him. The search for that final miraculous lesson had just begun. The light outside Grace's window danced and flickered, weaving through the air like a divine message. Thomas felt its brilliance tug at his heart, a reminder of the warmth and hope he longed to nurture. He stepped closer, and as he did, the whispers among the villagers grew, a hushed mix of expectation and reverence filling the space. He could see the flicker reflected in their eyes, a testament to a shared belief that touched the very core of their beings. "Look!" Mrs. Harper exclaimed, her voice breaking the silence. "It's a miracle! It's a sign from God!" Thomas's heart raced at the glimmer of hope. Was this the moment when despair would yield to something greater? He looked back at Grace, lying so fragile, yet her spirit seemed to share in that radiant glow. Perhaps this was what Father O'Reilly spoke of, a moment where faith and divine intervention entwined. With eyes closed tight, Thomas whispered a humble prayer, surrendering all that he understood to a higher power. "Lord, guide us through this darkness. Illuminate our path, whether through healing or lesson." In that sacred moment, the light intensified, and suddenly Grace stirred. Her eyelids fluttered as if woken from a deep slumber. "Daddy?" she murmured, her voice soft yet strong. "Yes, Grace," he said, rushing to her side. "I'm here. We're all here." Thomas grasped her small hand,
feeling the warmth and strength returning to her fingers. The flame enveloping her was not just light, it felt like love pouring in, washing over everyone gathered. In that instant, time stood still. The bereft reality seemed to melt away as hope unleashed a tidal wave among them, pushing back the encroaching shadows of despair. Is it a miracle? Grace asked, her eyes now wide, glistening with a childlike wonder. Thomas smiled, tears streaming down his cheeks. It could very well be. We've prayed, and our faith has not gone unnoticed. One by one, neighbors leaned closer, eyes brimming with joy. Murmurs of gratitude filled the air. The power of prayer is a thing of beauty, said Mrs. Collins, wiping her eyes as hope ignited her soul. But doubt still lingered at the edges of Thomas's heart. Was this truly a miracle?
Or merely a temporary reprieve? Though the light brought warmth, his mind wrestled between awe and skepticism. As they celebrated the moment, Thomas exchanged glances with Father O'Reilly, who stood thoughtfully at the door, deep in contemplation. The priest stepped closer, placing a reassuring hand on his shoulder. Miracles follow those who believe. This is just the dawn, Thomas. There is more to unfold. The village erupted in joy, their hearts lifted by an unfathomable force. They sang praises that rang through the twilight, a gentle reminder that miracles often come cloaked in mystery. Thomas let the sound wash over him, slowly filling the void of despair with a newfound resolve. Yet, within the depths of his soul, the question remained. What divine lessons waited beyond this enchanting light? Was this the beginning of something miraculous, or merely a glimpse of how fragile hope can be? As he held Grace's hand, he resolved to remain vigilant, listening for what was to come. Would their hearts be prepared for the greater revelations waiting on the horizon? The flickering flame of faith promised something more profound was just around the bend. The gathering around Grace felt electric, as if the air itself pulsed with the new life within her. Thomas's heart danced in rhythm with the surrounding joy, yet he remained rooted in quiet contemplation. How could something so magnificent spring forth from moments steeped in darkness? In the depths of his being, he sensed that this miracle was not an isolated event, but the beginning of something extraordinary. Grace stirred again, her breath steadier, her cheeks gaining color. Suddenly, she turned her gaze toward the villagers, her innocent eyes sparkling. "Can we sing about it? About the light?" she asked, her voice full of pure delight. Though it may have seemed a simple request, it struck a deep chord within them all. They had come together in prayer, but this invitation to celebrate through song stirred the hearts. Neighboring him, Mrs. Harper began to hum an old hymn. One by one, voices joined in harmonious unity, lifting the praises into the evening sky. As the music swelled, Thomas closed his eyes, letting the melody wash over him like the light from the window. In the midst of the jubilant chorus, he sensed something divine whispering to him. Was it possible that beyond Grace's healing lay lessons yet to be discovered? "Father," he whispered, feeling his spirit deepen, "what are you trying to show us? Show me." Amid the echoes of their worship, he felt a gentle tug at his heart, a familiar nudge reminding him of the purpose behind their prayers, the very reason they had clung to hope through the darkest nights. He opened his eyes to look upon the dear faces illuminated by this shared experience. Father O'Reilly, witnessing it all, stepped forward. His wise gaze held an understanding that seemed to resonate with the very fabric of the moment.
What you feel right now is not just hope, but faith transformed. Each song, each prayer is an offering of gratitude, a response to the grace poured upon us. Listen, for God speaks through our praises. As their hearts swelled with song, the villagers were lifted to heights of devotion they had seldom reached. It was a moment where the mundane transcended into the marvelous. The flickering light outside flickered back, as if dancing joyfully in agreement, urging them to embrace what was unfolding. Interwoven with their melody, doubts began to dissipate like mist before the rising sun. Thomas envisioned how love, expressed in unity, could ignite faith and nurture healing. Perhaps this was the lesson waiting for him, one of collective faith born through communal devotion. Yet uncertainty still lingered. If they indeed received a miracle, what would remain unchanged? What would the village face in the days ahead? How might they grapple with lessons yet unlearned? Thomas's heart quickened as he glimpsed glimpses of a greater narrative unfolding, a compassionate plan woven through their struggles.
He resolved to remain attentive, seeking patience and insight. This was a journey meant for them all. As the last notes of their hymn lingered in the air, Grace clutched Thomas's hand tighter. Her innocent spirit beamed with warmth and reassurance. "Daddy, what do you think will happen next?" Her question, fresh and unadulterated, echoed through the depths of his heart. The flickering flame of hope promised revelations were close at hand, waiting to bless them in ways they had yet to comprehend. "Perhaps God is about to unveil something remarkable, Grace," he replied softly, "but only time will tell." At that moment, a gust of wind rushed through the window, carrying the scent of blooming flowers. Was it a sign? Was the world around them shifting to reveal the divine? Thomas pondered, feeling the weight of questions growing heavier within him. The journey was just beginning, and even the flickering light seemed to beckon him to explore deeper truths waiting to unfold. Thomas stood in the gentle aftermath of Grace's revival, the air still vibrating with lingering harmony. He could feel the warmth of the villagers surrounding him, their faces lit with hope, mirroring the soft glow from the flickering lanterns that dotted the square. The questions in his heart churned like the fresh breeze, swirling thoughts of what this moment meant not only for Grace, but for each one gathered. The sun began to retreat, casting long shadows that danced across the cobblestones. Grace, still smiling, looked up at Thomas with wide-eyed wonder, her innocence brightening the dimming light. "Can we do it again? Can we keep singing?" she asked, her voice a sweet melody of innocence. Just then, the harmonious echo of community flooded back in another hymn, rising like the scent of flowers on that miracle breeze. Thomas felt his heart swell.
This was more than mere singing. It was a declaration of unity, a vivid tapestry woven with threads of faith, joy, and love. In that moment, the world outside their gathering faded. In the midst of their song, he gleaned a deeper truth, a revelation that each note was not simply sound, but a divine offering. Each voice held part of the village's story, resonating with past struggles and surging hope for the future. Father O'Reilly, observing the growing fervor, encouraged them further. "Let us not forget, dear friends, this moment of healing calls us to action. Our faith is alive, dancing among us, urging us to share it beyond this square." His gentle challenge reverberated with every echo of the hymn, igniting something deep within them. Thomas felt a surge of inspiration, a calling to take this magic beyond mere words. "Shall we take this song, this joy we feel, and spread it through the village?" he suggested, his face alight with renewed commitment. The villagers nodded. An excited murmur trailed to the crowd like wildfire. They had become messengers of grace, ready to share their newfound hope. In that unity, doubts faded like distant murmurs of a storm as they prepared to step forth into the larger world, emboldened by their miraculous experience. With Grace still clinging to his side, they moved as one. It was as if an invisible thread linked their hearts, binding them together in a shared purpose, to shine that light into the dark corners of their community. They began to venture out, carrying their praise with them as they wound through the cottages, through the narrow streets, where echoes of despair had lingered far too long. With every footstep, the essence of faith transformed into palpable joy. Notes of their hymns spilled into the air, embracing those who stood silent, weary from the burdens they carried. Faces turned toward the sound, curious expressions morphing into smiles. Through laughter, embrace, and peace, they spread their revelation, kindling sparks in every home they passed. Yet, as their journey continued, Thomas felt the whisper of uncertainty tugging at him again. What would happen when the song subsided? Would the light they shared be enough to sustain the hope within their hearts? Turning to Grace, he knelt down to her level, feeling the warmth radiating from her tiny form. "Thank you for guiding us tonight," he smiled, wanting to impart his gratitude. But just as he spoke, a flicker of shadow passed over Grace's expression, a fleeting cloud of doubt that caught Thomas's breath. "But what happens if it goes away, Daddy? What if the light leaves us?" Her innocent question pierced his heart. Did they possess the strength to carry this miracle forward when the glow of revival began to dim? Would they know how to nurture the seeds of faith sown in this sacred moment? As he contemplated her words, he realized the divine mystery of their journey was only beginning.
Perhaps it was through their vulnerability and shared questions that deeper truths would bloom. There was much to understand,
and he felt the challenge awaited him. "Let's find out together, Grace," he replied with renewed resolve. "Maybe God has more to show us yet. We'll take one step at a time." The spark of excitement was returning, and with every step, their village emerged as witness to the enduring promise of grace. Yet, what awaited them? What lessons might God reveal through their collective endeavor? They pressed forward, ready to embrace whatever lay ahead, determined to discover the answers woven into the beautiful tapestry of their faith. As they embarked on their journey through the village, an unspoken bond knit deeper among them. Each step resonated with the harmonies left behind, echoing like a promise on the wind. Thomas felt a ripple of anticipation in the air, a sense that they were not just walking, but stepping towards something profound. Grace, still holding his hand, skipped alongside him, her laughter ringing like bells, a sound so pure that even the frailest spirits felt its warmth. Villagers peered out from their doorways, drawn like moths to a flame, their hearts hungry for hope in these uncertain times. The soothing melody spilled from Thomas and Grace, interwoven with the voices of their companions, surrounding their village with a cloak of comfort and love. "Listen," Grace shouted as they approached the old baker shop. "It's Mr. Hargrove. He looks worried." Indeed, Mr. Hargrove stood by the window, his brow knitted, as he stared at the empty shelves. Seeing the loss in his eyes, Thomas felt a surge of compassion. Here was a man who once filled his shop with the smell of fresh bread and pastries, now reduced to worry and despair. As they sang, they shuffled closer, their harmonious energy washing over him like a wave, and slowly, oh so slowly, he lifted his gaze. The corners of his mouth began to twitch upward, stirring a long, buried smile. "Mr. Hargrove," Grace called out, her innocence piercing through the haze of grief. The baker's eyes softened. "Why, thank you, sweet Grace. It's a lovely sound you've brought, but how can a song fill my empty shelves?" "By showing the light. Let your heart hold the sweetness of faith," Thomas stepped in, feeling words spill forth from a place beyond him. "Hope doesn't just linger in the air. It can lift us to believe in better days." A spark ignited in Mr. Hargrove's heart. "You're right. Joy can fill more than my shop. It can fill my heart." And then, unexpectedly, a miracle of sorts, a warmth flooded the room. The baker, once trapped in shadows of doubt, transformed as laughter emerged, mingling with the song. They shared stories among flour and sugar, inviting everyone around to come and partake in not only bread, but the loaf of their souls, nurtured in faith. As they moved on, the lessons piled up high like loaves, each encounter stitched into the fabric of their woven tapestry. They ventured further, hearing whispers of Auntie Millie, who had been bedridden for weeks. Thomas felt a tug in his heartstrings. They needed to visit her next. Collectively, the villagers surrounded her door, singing sweet and tender, their hopes spiraling through the cracks. When they entered, Auntie Millie lay weak, but her frail smile turned bright upon hearing familiar voices. "Such beauty! Oh, how my heart sings," she whispered, the energy in the room shifting like sunlight breaking through clouds. "Can you join us, Auntie?" Grace asked, eyes wide with delight. With determination, Millie propped herself up, her spirit lifting like a kite in the breeze. "I'll give it all I have," she replied, and as her voice mixed with theirs, a tapestry of voices soared. In that moment, Thomas knew the real miracle lay not merely in the singing, nor in the healing of bodies, but in the gathering of hearts. Each interaction painted the village in colors of faith, warmth, and radiance, igniting embers in weary lives. Yet, as they continued toward the village square pulsating with hope, a lingering question entangled Thomas's heart. What if their zeal faltered? What if the burdens they carried began to weigh heavier than their joy? With that thought hovering, he turned to Grace, who radiated with exuberance, blissfully unaware of the depths of his concerns. Her tiny hand squeezed his tighter, and her voice drifted to him like the wind. "Look at all the happy faces, Daddy. It's working." Indeed it was. But what mysteries awaited? What trials might they soon encounter, challenging the very light they ignited? The evening grew darker, their path still ahead, yet Thomas felt the pull of divine mystery drawing closer. It was time to embrace the unknown. What awaited them under the canopy of stars? As they ventured along the dimming path, shadows began to dance, reflecting the flickering light of their determination.
Each step forward felt charged, as if the very ground beneath them hummed a sacred tune. Thomas could sense the weight of collective expectations. It felt as if the air itself was holding its breath, waiting for the next revelation to unfold. "Look," Grace exclaimed, her finger pointing toward a distant figure seated on a bench in the square. It was Old Man Carter, his white beard blending with the night. His eyes were drawn inward, lost in reflections of yesteryear, and he seemed untouched by the vibrancy surrounding him. "Maybe he needs some joy too," Grace said, her gaze earnest. "Let's go sing for him." Thomas nodded, hopefully that rarely. He wondered how many more souls they could reach. They approached Old Man Carter, and the rest of the group instinctively gathered close, forming a circle of light around him. Thomas could hear the heartbeat of the village as they united in song.
Melodies wove through the air, lifting his voice and theirs, wrapping Old Man Carter in a blanket of warmth. As the notes reached the old man's ears, there was a subtle change. His brow unfurled, and for a fleeting moment, Thomas caught a glimpse of the laughter that once swirled around him. The song tugged at the corners of Carter's mouth, and against the weight of sorrow, it forged a path to a smile. "Why, thank you, my dears," he finally said, his voice raspy but tinged with gratitude. "It's been a long time since anyone has thought to sing for me. You remind me of my own dear ones." The memories hung heavy in the air, and a profound silence enveloped them, deeper than before. Thomas felt it, a shared space where past and present mingled, leaving room for healing. "Even when joy feels lost, it can be found again," Thomas said, feeling a surge of bravery. "We can search together." Old Man Carter nodded slowly, realization finding its way into his heart. "Perhaps the emptiness I have felt is simply a measure of how much I've loved before." Grace leaned closer, her eyes shimmering with hope. But love is never fully gone. It stays in our hearts and makes room for more. At that moment, the air shifted. A breeze swept through, carrying laughter and memories like leaves in autumn. Thomas looked around. The villagers were united, their hearts lifted by understanding and compassion. A simple act, a gentle melody, and a few kind words transformed despair into fellowship. As the night deepened, the villagers began to share their dreams and fears, exchanging stories like precious gifts under the stars. Together they created a patchwork quilt of shared experiences, a rich tapestry that warmed the chill of night. Yet dark clouds lingered on the horizon. Something unsettled Thomas, a nagging thought tucked away at the back of his mind. With each joyous moment they shared, he felt heavier with a question he could not voice. "Daddy," Grace interrupted his thoughts, tugging gently at his sleeve. "What if we meet someone who feels too broken for our love to reach?" Her words struck like a bell, ringing in the stillness. They had spread joy and comfort, yes, but what awaited them in the shadows, the ones who might reject their light? "Grace," Thomas whispered, holding her close, "the light shines brightest in the darkest corners. We must continue to trust, no matter what comes." With that promise spoken, they turned back toward the center of the village, still teeming with life. The unknown loomed before them, shrouded in mystery and the promise of challenges yet to come. How would they bridge the divide if faced with despair too heavy to bear? As they stepped into the heart of the square, Thomas felt the challenge calling out to them. A test of faith was imminent. His heart pounded, echoing in time with the rhythm of their newly found purpose. They were ready for whatever was next. Or were they? What lay ahead? Would their resolve hold in the face of true hardship? The village square shimmered with the conversation of shared stories, but Thomas felt the weight of expectation in the air. The joyful chatter and music faded into an undertone, a mere hum compared to the pounding of his heart. Grace's question lingered in his thoughts, casting shadows across their achievements. Somewhere in the village, deep sorrow still dwelled. As they gathered in the glow of a nearby lantern, whispers and laughter began to rise once more, creating a seemingly impenetrable wall against sorrow. Yet Thomas's spirit ached, sensing an unease that lurked just beyond the light. He needed to stand tall for Grace, but shadows were creeping closer, and doubt began to gnaw at his resolve. "Let's seek out others,"
those who might need us the most. Thomas spoke, his voice steady despite the tremors in his heart. His words seemed to spark some movement among the group. Yes, let's walk beyond what's familiar, Grace chimed in, her spirit indomitable. She reached for Thomas's hand, and as he clasped it tightly, warmth surged between them. With renewed purpose, they stepped forward hand in hand, leading the group into the dimly lit streets. They moved cautiously at first, their footfalls synchronized to the rhythm of their growing hope. It felt almost sacred, this journey into the unknown, where the light of their song could find those who had been cast aside. Suddenly, the collective courage surged as they turned a corner, revealing a narrow alley. A shrill cry echoed off the stone walls, piercing through the warm night air. Thomas halted, heart racing. Had they truly come prepared for whatever lay ahead? "What was that?" a villager gasped. Eyes wide with awe, the group strained to hear. There, in the shadows, a figure was curled up against the wall, shrouded in darkness. With a shared look of understanding, Thomas knew they had reached someone in need, a soul on the brink. Would their light be enough to break through despair? He felt Grace's grip tighten, and he took a deep breath, letting the breath of life gather courage from deep within. "Hello there," Thomas called softly, approaching the figure. "We're here. Can we help you?" The figure shifted, revealing the face of a young woman. Tears streamed down her cheeks, sparkling like morning dew under the moonlight. She looked up, eyes hauntingly deep, filled with an anguish that felt like a chasm. "Why would you help me?" she whispered, voice cracked like fragile glass. "I don't deserve your kindness. I am too lost." At that moment, Thomas recalled the weight of Old Man Carter's sorrow. "We all deserve love and light," he murmured. "You are not too lost. Hope can be found again, even in the darkest moments." Gradually, the desperation etched in her features began to soften, if only for a moment. In that holy space, Thomas understood. This was the true test.
They weren't merely spreading joy. They were called to shine light amidst despair. This was the real journey ahead, where love had to conquer darkness face to face. As Grace knelt beside the woman, whispering gentle reassurances, Thomas stepped back to give them space. The weight of that moment settled deep inside him, igniting belief and a divine urgency. "Let's share our songs," Thomas said, a plan blooming within him. "Let her feel the warmth of our community, that she is not alone." He turned to the villagers, all of them watching with wide eyes, silently urging them to harness their collective spirit. In unison, they began to sing, a chorus rising into the night, carrying their hearts toward the broken soul. Each note floated like a dove, filled with promise and hope. Would this melody reach the depths of her despair? Could their love truly bridge the gap between light and darkness? The woman's tears glistened in the glow of the lantern, transforming into a testament of faith. Just as she began to join in the song, a mysterious presence enveloped them, an unexplainable sense of unity wrapping their hearts in warmth. But Thomas felt the challenge lurking still. What if this was only the beginning? What other trials awaited them in the shadows? In that moment, Thomas felt a stir of anticipation. Could faith ignite a revolution in their hearts? As the last notes of their song faded to silence, he braced himself for the answer. What transformation awaited them beyond this encounter? The night air hung thick with emotion as the final echoes of their song faded. Thomas felt a shift, a heart-stirring breath of hope weaving through the cold air. The young woman, once curled in despair, now sat up straighter. A lingering tremor remained in her voice, but something had changed. "Your song, it felt like light," she murmured, her eyes reflecting the lantern's glow. "Could it really be that I am not alone?" Grace's comforting hands enveloped the woman's, and a tender smile blossomed on her face. "You are far from alone. We are here, and we are a family," she affirmed, her voice a warm balm in the chill of the night. Thomas watched, enraptured. It was not just healing that was unfolding, but transformation, a reminder that they were vessels of a love more profound than any darkness could swallow. As the villagers stood close, their expressions ranged from awe to reverence. Hope danced in the air, tangible and electric. Would such grace extend beyond this moment? Could they forge a path from their own struggles into brighter dawns? "Can you tell us your name?" Thomas asked gently, kneeling down to meet the young woman's gaze. She hesitated, searching for a semblance of identity amid her pain. "My name is Lily," she whispered, an echo of the bloom that embodies life amid adversity. "Lily," Thomas repeated, savoring the name. "You are cherished. Each of us has our own stories, our own battles. We face them together." He gestured to the group, each face a testimony of perseverance. As if drawn by an unseen thread, others stepped forward. "My brother is lost, just like you were," one of the villagers shared. "We don't know how to find him." Another added, "My heart is heavy from heartbreak, but I am learning." Their shared confessions created a sacred atmosphere, threading each individual soul into the greater tapestry of the night. They were all acknowledgments of the hidden suffering, each revelation creating a bridge toward deeper understanding. Thomas's heart swelled with purpose, emboldened by their honesty. "Remember," he spoke, his voice unwavering in the face of vulnerability. "Just as the night yields to day, we too can rise again. We can call forth the light within us." With each word, he felt an invisible force binding them all, their collective pain transforming into communal strength. There was a divine magic woven through their shared experiences. Lily met his gaze, her eyes now shimmering with something other than sorrow, daring hope. "Can we sing together again?" she asked, her voice dappled with newfound courage. The villagers drew closer, forming a tighter circle. Spirits lifted, they began to hum softly, a melody born from shared grief, yet unmistakably alive with promise. A harmony weaved through the darkness, filling the air with warmth as they sang together. As notes kissed the night sky, Thomas sensed a deeper presence surrounding them, a divine breath encircling their gathering. There was a stirring undercurrent, a soft whisper in the winds, perhaps an invitation to engage with something vast and mysterious. In that holy communion, Thomas's heart crackled with possibility. "Let this night not just be a moment, let it be a beginning," he declared, passion surging. "Let us build something beautiful." The villagers echoed him, their voices a symphony of agreement and hope. Yet, as they sang, shadows flickered in the corners of the alley, hinting at unfinished stories and unseen struggles. "Where do we go from here?" Grace questioned, her brow slightly furrowed in thought, as if the path ahead was both daunting and thrilling. What mysteries awaited them beyond this moment of light? Would they discover strength and faith to face whatever darkness still lingered? And in that questioning, the night's true journey unfolded. Could their collective light overcome the shadows yet to come? Lily's voice, now a soft melody, blended with the villagers around her. Each note hung in the air, shimmering with shared hope. As they continued to sing, the shadows that had once loomed so threateningly faded, mere wisps under the radiant glow of their unity. Thomas watched as different faces lit up, transformed by the simple act of belonging. Their worries, though still present, seemed lighter. Could it be that love, expressed through song and solidarity, was a kind of magic that could lift burdens from weary shoulders?
The sound reverberated off the alley walls, painting the darkness with light, wrapping each listener in tenderness. It felt like a sacred echo of the heavens above, an assurance that they were not just inhabitants of a home burdened by strife, but participants in a grander design. Lily's smile seemed to brighten with every rise and fall of the notes. "I feel like something has broken free," she breathed, her eyes sparkling now. "Yes," Thomas exclaimed, clenching his fists in conviction. "That's the spirit. We are breaking through the walls that have kept us hidden. Together, we are stronger." And with those words, a ripple of affirmation flowed through the group. They began to share fragments of their stories. A child's laughter heard after years of silence, a mother's embrace after long separation, a brother's return from a distant journey. Each story gathered strength, creating not just voices, but a tapestry of life, vibrancy, and triumph. "Life is cyclical," Grace echoed, her heart swelling with joy. As the song continued, a slight breeze stirred, pulling Thomas's attention. Whispers danced in the rustling leaves. "There's something beyond this night, something calling us," he murmured, feeling it in his bones. The villagers sensed it too, glancing at each other, a mix of anticipation and curiosity woven into their expressions. Hope dared to blossom in their hearts, intertwining their fears with faith. Suddenly, a flicker of light appeared at the end of the alley. It pulsed gently like a heartbeat, drawing their eyes. The song faltered, curiosity piqued, and invitation awaited them, sparking murmurs and glances exchanged. "What is that?" someone whispered, wide eyes reflecting the soft glow. "Perhaps," Thomas began, his voice steady with new purpose, "it's a sign, a beckoning towards the path we are meant to walk together." As he said this, another wave of warmth enveloped them. Resilience grew, grounding them in the moment. "Let us approach it,"
Grace encouraged, her voice's steady presence amid the rising excitement. We cannot shy away from what calls to us. There is revelation in the unknown. Taking a collective breath, the villagers moved forward, leading the way with unwavering grace. The flickering light grew brighter as they stepped closer, illuminating their faces with golden warmth. What lies ahead? Thomas wondered aloud, feeling a mix of exhilaration and trepidation. But the light did not show them the fullness of what awaited. It simply called them forward, like the dawn teasing the horizon. Each step they took reaffirmed their unity, each heart fueled by the shared resolve to walk into something greater than themselves. As they neared that luminous glow, a deeper truth intertwined with the very core of their beings. What divine gift awaited them in the light? Would it provide clarity, strength, or perhaps a challenge that called for greater faith?
They were drawn not just by light, but by the promise of a journey that would not only change them, but the very fabric of their existence. And there, at the threshold between what was known and the unfolding mystery of what lay ahead, their collective breath held a silent prayer for answers, for courage, for the beauty that awaited. What wonders lay just beyond the light? Would they be ready for the truths that awaited them just outside the reach of their fears? As the villagers approached the bright flicker at the end of the alley, a hush fell over them. A collective breath paused in anticipation. The light pulsed with warmth, wrapping around them like a gentle embrace. Thomas felt his heart race. This was a moment of divine invitation, a call to step deeper into the unknown. Grace tugged at his hand, her eyes wide with wonder. "What do you think it is, Daddy?" she whispered, her innocent curiosity igniting hope in Thomas's heart. "I think it's a promise, Grace," he replied softly, his words filled with conviction. "A promise that we are to walk this journey together, whatever it may bring." As they stepped into the pool of light, a forest of vibrant colors exploded around them, illuminating faces that had once been hidden behind shadows of despair. Laughter bubbled up, resonating with joy as they were enveloped by love, a harmonious choir of singleness of heart and purpose. In that instant, something shifted within Thomas. A wave of peace washed over him, dissolving the doubts that had lingered. He understood now that the trials ahead were all part of a larger tapestry woven by faith, love, and divine purpose. They had begun something profound, and as they stood together, he sensed the collective strength of unity. "Let's sing our praises," someone called from among the group, the spark of joy igniting once again. They gathered themselves into a circle, voices ringing out in jubilant song. Words poured forth like a river of hope, inviting all who felt the light to be drawn closer. "Together we are a family," Grace chimed in, weaving her laughter into the melodies. The others joined, hearts buoyed by the transformative spirit among them. The light shimmered more brightly, responding to their joyful praise, nurturing souls that longed for connection. Through their song, the villagers began to share their dreams, their fears, their struggles, and their triumphs all at once. The burdens that once anchored them now floated away like leaves set free by the wind. Thomas stood in awe, recognizing their vulnerability as a powerful testament to the healing unfolding before him. Suddenly, a voice broke through the crowd. Old Man Carter stepped forward, his face radiant and eyes twinkling as he declared, "In our pain, we have found our true strength. In our journey, we have discovered purpose. This light that surrounds us is a reminder of the love that binds us." The villagers erupted in applause, a chorus swelling in celebration. Thomas felt that familiar warmth pulse through him. Yes, they were stronger together. They were called to hold one another up amid trials, discover the miracles together, and walk the path of hope and faith united. As night gave way to dawn, an overwhelming sense of divine resolution washed over them. They stood together, arms wrapped around one another, hearts beating in sync. The flickering light around them morphed into a celestial glow, revealing the countless dreams that stretched out beyond the horizon. In every face, Thomas saw reflections of resilience, love, and determination, a tapestry richer than he could have imagined. Every worry melted away. "This is the moment," he cried out, his spirit soaring. "We are here, we are alive, and together we are unstoppable." The villagers no longer saw shadows lurking. Instead, they were filled with courage to meet whatever came their way. Anguish transformed into laughter, anxiety into hope, and isolation into community. They had discovered not just a miraculous lesson, but a whole cascade of divine truths, the power of faith, the importance of connection, and the beauty of vulnerability. And as they began to step away from the light and back into their village, the warmth of hope lingered,
a flame rekindled in their hearts. They understood that by lifting each other up, they could move mountains of despair, embrace each story, and stir the hearts of many. Thomas turned to Grace, holding her small hands in his. "We are on an incredible journey, sweet girl. Promise me we will always look for the light, even in the darkest corners and unseen struggles?" Grace smiled brightly, her heart illuminated with joy. "I promise, Daddy. Together we can find it." Their collective spirits surged, bodies animated with newfound purpose. They began to move forward, resolute in their mission to spread love and courage well beyond their village. Each step felt like a prayer, and every encounter an opportunity to bring forth healing. As they ventured into the blossoming dawn, the world stretched before them, a canvas of possibilities waiting to be painted with faith, community, and love. The journey was never ending, but they were ready for it. And with that steadfast unity, they knew that no matter the challenges ahead, they would face it all together, their hearts forever warmed by the miraculous lessons learned and the light to guide them home. Now, dear friends, we invite you to join us in this journey of faith and miracles. Subscribe immediately to the channel so you don't miss the next exclusive faith stories. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm and spread this message far and wide. Comment your thoughts and testimonies about this powerful ending. Every word matters. And share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this divine manifestation. This is the moment to show your support, and together we can illuminate lives with the transformative power of faith.
Don't wait even one more second to share. Be a true servant of God.